Hey, what's up guys? Oh man, I can already see the dislike bar for this video. It's gonna be a mess. For a while back, I keep hearing about how the anime industry is gonna end in like 5 years, or that the piracy is actually killing the industry. And while these people who claim those stuff, they probably intend for the best of it, which is understandable, but they're slightly misinformed about how the actual money gets distributed in Japan. So I'm hoping that I can explain that to you in this video, so just hold on your horse and we'll get through this. Now keep in mind that I'm not belittling what piracy is. It's a crime, it's illegal, and you shouldn't do it. That being said, if you do download 3 episodes of Tool of Rue, the cops won't be barging down your front door and slapping you on the wrist because you've been a bad boy. It's give or take, but if you do like a company, you should support them. It's a balance. We'll get to that. If you guys know me, I spend a lot of my day sending emails to actual marketing companies in Japan to acquire the rights to use the footage for my videos that I do on YouTube, and I've talked with them about this issue. And the thing is, to claim piracy is not killing the anime, it's a pretty ballsy thing to say, because a lot of veterans have been thinking it for a while. But before I can get into that, I need to tell you how the money gets distributed in Japan. First off, you need to know that what's successful here in the West versus what's successful there in Japan is two opposite things. You think Fullmetal Alchemist is good? Yeah, some of them saw it. Ever heard of Sazae-san? Yeah, that shit's been going on for a while. It's been on for 40 years, something like that, and it has 7,181 episodes. That's a good show. So, you need to understand that a lot of Japanese people there in the culture are workaholic. That's your middle-aged man who wakes up at 5 a.m. and gets to work at 7 a.m. and then if he's lucky, he's out by 9 p.m. on the evening. So if by some magic in that time frame he managed to catch a glimpse of an anime, whichever it may be, it's gonna be the most popular one. So One Piece, Love Idol, Doraemon, Detective Conan, those are the ones that gets played during the day. Everything else, it's during the night shift. So Code Geass, yeah, they slept on it. Speaking of Code Geass, ever wonder why there were so many references to pizza or the iconic Pizza Hut? Well, it's a sponsored anime. I think the cool kid calls it product placement. There's a bunch of companies that are willing to pay thousands, if not millions of dollars to have their brand displayed in one anime. A good example of that would be Devil's a Part-Timer. McDonald's? Yeah, as if it's not done by McDonald. And sometimes it can be as subtle as brand of cars. So, since a lot of you guys probably don't know all the Japanese brands, a lot of them probably just slip under your nose, so you don't see that. But here's how the majority of the money is made. TV stations, they have slots that they have to fill, otherwise you get to see the color testing bar screens that you find on that channel that nobody watches at 2 a.m. To fill those slots, they usually go with anime, because it's something that can be done during the daytime, and it can just be plastered there whenever. So normally, a studio would get between $2 to $4 million to produce their 12 episode series. When that's done, they put it there, but the thing is, the cost to produce an anime, it's a lot more than that. So how do they do to actually make profits out of doing animes, or just break even? Well, there's a few options for that, so I'll list them to you. Now, option A is product placement. Like I said earlier, Pizza Hut comes to you, they tell you we're gonna give you $1 million if you plug our pizza in your show, and usually the studio welcomed that money, so they don't mind putting the plot on suspend just to plug in a few parts of their character eating a pizza. Option B is the DVD release, the Blu-ray release. Once the anime is done airing on TV, it gets put on the shelf so people can purchase them. If you go to Japan, you'll notice that 3 episodes of Danmachi, or whichever season you want to pick, it's like $100 US dollar, not yens. $100 for 3 episodes. It's a lot, but they target the otaku diehard fans who are willing to pay that money. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it at that price. There are people, trust me, there are people who are willing to pay that money to get their hands on the show, legally. And it is said for a company to break even on a show, they have to sell 5,000 copies. So if you do the math, $100 for a 12 episode, well, 3 episodes, that would last at $400. So times that, 5,000, it's a good profit. But here's the kicker. There's no time limit on this. So a show that came out in the 90s can still make profits nowadays. Sometimes they even get remastered, and there are some shows that just broke even, like in 2014. An example of that would be Serial Experiment Lane. Option C, merchandise. There's a lot of stuff you can purchase. Wallet, keychain, action figure, wall scroll, body pillow, name it. There's a lot of stuff. And when you purchase something from, let's say, Cardcaptor Sakura, well, a portion of that profit goes back to the studio who made Sakura. So in this case, it would be Clamp Studio. Option D, investment. Sometimes there's studio, let's take in this case Kyoto Animation, that they've been around for a pretty big time, and they've made enough money over time that they can pretty much do whatever they want. And it's a good thing for them, so they don't get to be bound by the laws of the TV station. However, in some other case, let's say Madhouse, while they've been around for 40 years, they're not as big as some other TV studio. Like if you take a look at the office of Madhouse, they have 3 floors to work with. It's not that much. So those studios end up being contractors that depends on what the TV station and the committee decide on putting on the screen. So they have to fill that. Option E, licensing. Sometimes there's an anime that does really well in Japan or terribly in Japan, but it gets ported to America, where there's a studio, let's say Funimation, that will buy the rights to dub the anime. So they will pay a base fee per episode. So normally it's around $10,000 per one episode. So since there's usually 12 episodes, then that would be $120,000. So once that's done, there's someone that dubs the voice, there's a matching, the synchro and everything. Let's keep that for another day. But basically, once that's done, the show gets aired either on TV here in America or just simply released on DVD. And if the show does exceptionally well, in those cases, well, there's a small portion of the profits that is given back to the original companies. Normally it's around 40%. So everything that's extra gravy, that goes back to the studio. So the money that you purchase for Dead Man Wonderland, the DVD, well, it's what helped Mangalobe to stay afloat for a tiny bit longer. But sometimes just a few bad calls can be enough to shut down your company, because the anime industry in Japan is really competitive and it's pretty intense, and people are underpaid a lot to fill those places because everybody wants to be in it. And finally, option F. Sometimes there's a show like, let's take for example, this season there's the anime called Perfect Insider that is currently airing. This anime is owned by a member of the committee that is also part of Aniplex. So here's the deal. Since Aniplex is the one behind Naruto Shippuden, Gintama, and other big titles such as Durarara, it is a lot of money that Dosho made that they can use to get that one going for free. But that's gonna segue in my next point. Boobies, fan service. It's a big thing. It's hard to pass around because it's all over in your face all the time. But did you know it's the failsafe? They use those show, the ecchi anime that comes out by the dozen, to help make money because it gathers attention, and if it gathers attention, then it sells too. And with the extra money they make, they can then pay for other shows. So remember how you despise Prison School because it's just tits in your face all the time? Well, maybe it pays for Spice and Wolf that you like so much. It's a shit-strumming argument because Spice and Wolf came out before Prison School, but you get my point. Now, here's an inside scoop for the morality police out there. They don't give two shits about what you think. Anime is a business, and just like video games, movies, music, it's about money. So they don't care about your little you. You're not a special snowflakes anymore. They just want the dough. And it's okay. It's okay that it's a system that's done this way. Because there's no pleasing everybody. And if you're in it for the hope of making good art, that's not gonna happen. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about anything else. They want the money. And it's alright. It's understandable. They put money in it. They expect to get some out of it. And that brings me to my final point. It's money that talks all the time. So there's a lot of people who ask me, is there gonna be a second season of No Game No Life? When will they continue Spice and Wolf? Or can we see a revamp of Bleach? It's not gonna happen. This is where I crash your hopes and dreams. You cannot expect them. Because here's the deal. The anime are based on, often, like 80% of the time, they're based either on manga, light novel, video games, or adaptations of whichever sorts you may think of. When the anime airs, if it does poorly or averagely, that's it, it's done. Even if it did like okay, it's not good enough to risk a second season. And then, if you have the original concept that it's based on, let's say, I don't know, Naruto, since it just ended, the manga, well, if the manga ends, the anime is gonna end. That's the reason why there's so many fillers. They're stretching it to milk it out. It's okay too. I mean, it's a business and they're doing what's good for them. But here's the sad part. You can put as many petitions as you want out there. They're not even gonna blink at it. And especially if you're from the Western continent, because you're not the targeted audience. You're gravy. You're just extra stuff. If they sell it to you, good. That's more money for them. I don't care about you. I do, because I'm a cool guy. But they don't. So unless you can come and bring like $2 million to put on their table so they can do your also awaited Oreimo Season 2, or 3 in this case, well, it's not gonna happen. The only way to salvage it at this point would be to revamp a whole series. So let's say you take Bleach and you do like they did with Hunter x Hunter 2011 and they start again from zero and they go ahead with that. But since it did so badly in the manga, to the point where the manga was almost cancelled, it's probably not a risk they will take again. So Bleach is probably over too. So no, at the end of the day, piracy is not what's killing the anime industry. Your money is not what's really influencing it, and at the same time it is, because whichever money you decide to put on your anime watching time, it goes to the company. But if you don't, it doesn't matter because they have other ways to get around. Piracy's been a thing, they know about it. Trust me, they do. But it's not what's stopping them because they're getting their money from mainly the TV station and then some company that puts their money in it to get some promotion and stuff like that. Besides, as much as you want to help the community, your wallet won't allow you to pay for every single thing you do. And if it does, well, either you're really rich, and congrats on that because it's a hard thing to do, or you just don't get that many. And it's okay to want to test a show before you actually purchase it. I've paid my weight in gold to the anime community. Like, you can just look around anywhere in my place and you'll see shit tons of anime stuff. And I don't feel bad because I watched like a new show that's being aired that's not even in DVD format right now because I cannot access it any other way, but I have to keep up because it's my job. And besides, if we're truly honest, there's some shows like Monster, it's an old anime that came out in the 80s, 90s, they're just not being produced anymore. Like, you cannot go in a store and purchase the DVD because it's not available. At best, you may find a whole VHS, but by that time it's like almost bootleg stuff. And trust me, that money does not go to the company. So does that mean you have to prevent yourself from watching Monster because you cannot purchase it legally? No, I don't think so. But if you do, be my guest and skip on it. You'll be passing by a cool show. Bottom line is, if you can help, do so. It's always going to the right place. There's some website out there too, like Crunchyroll, Funimation. You can pay a subscription monthly and a part of that money goes to the studio. They have to pay the rights to have them on, so it actually goes in the right place. You can go with Netflix. I myself have a crunchyroll.com/Misty that you can try out. It's a trial period of 14 days. It helps me out at the same time. See, that's product placement too. Besides, anyway, it's like $5 per month. It's like 5 coffees, or 1 if you go to Starbucks. Anyway, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and tell your friends, share it around. People don't know how the money is spread in Japan, and it is shaming you for watching an anime on an illegal website when it's not that big of a deal. So tell your friends, bring them onto my channel. I do cool stuff where you can find new anime to watch, so you can find them and watch them on your own. And if you'd like to see my friend Joey the Anime Man, his take on the matter, he made a video about an open letter that is addressed to the Japanese company, telling them how they could prevent this whole piracy thing, because while it's not ruining the anime industry, his idea would really improve the chance of getting money spread equally and then getting more contents out there. So check that out. He's a really cool friend of mine, so I'm sure you'll like his stuff too. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Alright, take care.